I'm going to be a net just so I can follow someone else.
Yeah. Well, last time, most of the people you'll be seeing today were there too for the first Wonder announcement stream. That's
okay.
That's when we last played with the whole bunch. So some of the names will probably be there. I guess we'll just start with this.
Nice.
Hey guys, this is Jim.
Hello, welcome.
Hey.
How's everybody doing?
Nice, thanks.
All right.
Excited to play, especially with
All right.
you, definitely.
With all the people here.
Hey, what am I doing?
Well, defend base, capture the flag, just have fun.
Try not to blow yourselves up.
Three-way island, right?
Yeah, three-way.
Some people have just joined
Some people just joined, yeah.
the Discord. Yeah, and there is someone. Oh, there is Nosso and someone else in the other voice chat talking for some reason.
Other voice. Why are they?
I went in that other voice chat first by accident, and then I saw anniversary voice chat.
Yeah.
I see somebody.
Yeah, Bob's also going to be joining us, at least in the voice chat.
Nick, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. It's so funny to hear your voice.
Same with you. I'm like, whoa. I saw you. I watched one of your YouTube videos, like you doing a playthrough of Giants, like a while back.
Oh, that's like the only other time I've played the game probably since it was released.
Yeah, it was you and shoot, what's his name? Yeah, Rich. Yeah, that was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. Yeah, last time we played with you, Nick, and Rich, I believe.
Yeah.
When you had to stream with this guy on Twitch, and you played some single player, and then you joined one of our servers, and it became quite one of the games. So yeah.
Man, the jetpack still feels really good.
But the game has been upgraded to version 1.5, so we've worked out some things, some rebalancing things have happened. Yeah. Some fuel rebalancing, weapon rebalancing, just to make it a little more fair.
Absolutely.
Especially for newer players who don't know what what the hell is going on.
So wait, can you explain the rebalancing? Who rebalanced it?
Yeah, well, that's a long story. The other guy, Tessin, Nick Blakely, created the version 1.497 patch with the help of some of you guys. There's a gigantic change list on it. Most of it is just bug fixes, like weird glitches, respawns, invincibility, stuff like that were all possible in the game. And they changed the machine gun, they changed the animations of the Reapers, they changed the rate of firing on a lot of weapons, they changed the damage on a lot of weapons. So it's basically more of an overhaul of all the things that were already implemented.
So wait a minute, you guys had the source code and the ability to build, or someone did?
No. We
didn't.
Only DOS had the source code. We didn't have access to it.
He had access to source code or parts of the source code he needed to edit the game.
Oh.
And he got that because when making the 1.4 patch, he had input on it, and that's when they started working together. So that's how he got his hands on the stuff he needed. At least that's the story I know, and people that should know about it are here right now. So
you clever bastards. That's pretty cool. I do remember, it's been a long time, but I kind of remember that having that input of some players, dedicated players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the same people that, eventually one of them eventually finished the patch. There were multiple people involved in the beta versions, but yeah, they all lost interest. So,
right,
basically just a one man army. One man army. He dedicated like the past half year of his life on creating this patch.
Wow.
It's quite
Yeah. Basically, we've been playing on 1.497 like for years. When I joined in 2010, it was 497, and
Yep.
only this summer, Tassim came back and said, "Hey, I'm gonna develop the patch further for the anniversary." And so there was already 498 available, but we didn't use it because it wasn't balanced too well. And he took it. He started developing further versions for it, and then we released 498 to the public. Then he came up with 499. Now we have an official 1.5 patch.
And we're on the road to 1.6, which will have stuff like pixel shading and
Yeah.
DirectX 10 and 11 support, stuff like that.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's so cool.
So yeah, it's
Nick, did you know about all this?
Yeah, well, every now and then, Hervé Interplay, kind of wants to try and do something with Giants, and there was about 2 years ago, I actually did a little mock-up in Unreal, and I was looking at the files, and we don't have the files ourselves, right? Scott doesn't have the files. We had some old backup tapes; they're all just totally trashed. And so I was looking for stuff, and then I can't remember how I got in contact with Nick. Maybe from this group.
probably.
Yeah, so I heard he might have some, so I pinged him, and he was a little cautious at first talking to me because he's not meant to have any of this stuff.
Yeah.
But
Deny
dude, it's
everything.
fine. I'm happy you got it, and so he helped me out with a bunch of files.
I definitely heard the caution just now when they're like, no, we don't have the source code. No.
He was very nervous, worried about his job.
We don't know what we're supposed to have and what we're not supposed to have, so we're
Of
careful.
Yeah, it's down to me. I just give you guys everything, but I don't have it. It's a big
Yeah, we just gotta hope it's stored somewhere at Interplay in some kind of deep archive. It has to be somewhere.
I doubt it, guys, because really Interplay, only exists in name only. Really.
Yep.
They're not like a company. It's just Hervé, and he kind of just handles the rights.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Well, we can dream.
It's a shame with games how they don't archive that well.
Yeah. True.
Do we have any other Planet Moon people here in this group besides me and Nick?
Bob is meant to be trying to join in on the call. Let me just check in on him.
Bob is on the wrong voice chat with another person on Discord.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm just gonna call him up.
He's with Farador.
Salvador. Know who that is.
Is the voice chat full? No. There can be more people than this in the voice chat, right?
There are limits to it. That it should be fine.
Yeah. Damn.
Wait, the other gets limits now.
Yeah. So who are all in the voice chat? See, King is here.
Yeah.
Nick. Yeah, I see all the names. So who's recording?
I am. I'm trying at least.
All right.
I'm trying. I don't know what it comes out, but in theory.
Yeah. I don't know.
Is there a chance any of you are streaming video?
I am actually to Twitch.
No, really? I would love to watch.
It's quite a crappy show, though.
You're in the wrong voice chat.
Just send him the link.
It's an anniversary voice chat.
Okay.
So many people.
Okay. I think one of the doors is just blocked by someone.
All right, who said Naso? Was that you?
Yeah, that was Naso.
Yeah. That was Naso recording or streaming.
Are you doing video?
Bob. Oh my God.
Oh, it's just voice, Bob.
There we go. There he is. Hello.
Hello.
There we go.
Bob Stevenson, good to see you. This is Jim.
Hey, how you doing?
It's good. Good. So funny to hear you guys' voice. It's great.
I'm gonna put my headphones in because I got an echo that's not heard since the 80s. Hang on a sec. There we go.
So Naso, if you don't mind telling me your Twitch name.
I posted it in general. It's Knosso2919.
Okay.
Though, really, I don't know what I'm supposed to stream because this is literally the very first time that I'm streaming something. So, yeah, there's that.
Just stream away, dude. Just stream away.
Yeah, I'm actually recording and streaming at the same time. So.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm hosting and I'm on the voice chat, so I can't really stream at the same time. My computer will not allow me to do everything.
Yeah, I opened OBS and I'm trying to stream, but my frames dropped to like 18 even. So I don't know about that. I just have an office laptop.
Okay. I'm on Kanasso's stream, but I thought you guys were gonna play.
Oh, in theory, yeah.
In theory.
What? Is everybody like already in the game?
It's already a game at the moment.
Oh.
We're already in there. We're already in the game. So we're
okay.
We're in a three-way match right now.
Okay. That's cool. Okay.
And we're filling up quite fast. So if you want to reserve a spot, you have to move quickly.
Okay. And I picked the wrong server. Sorry. Yeah.
I literally called it anniversary.
Yeah. It was too fast. I was too fast.
There are 5 more spots on the server.
Oh my god! Even looking at this old menu really brings back some memories.
Yeah.
There was love put into that menu, Jim.
Yeah. A lot of love, a lot of hate.
Well, we're currently playing on a custom map. This was hand created. Outside.
What language was Giants written in?
It was
English.
C++ and C and C++. Mostly C,
no
I
shit.
would say. Yeah. And a little bit of Scottish.
Of course.
Hey, just for a second. This is Bob. Hey, Jim, it's really good to hear your voice.
I know.
That's a highlight.
I know. It's been too long, guys. Oh my god,
Yeah,
this menu.
I feel like it's Nick managed to throw us back in time. It was originally a 25th anniversary, and I thought I was now even older than I was, and so I had to ask my wife if I was actually we worked 5 years through a pandemic.
Was there a time warp? I know. You guys,
there actually was one, but it was 20 years.
I'm gonna be 50 years old like in a couple months. It's crazy. I was a wee lad back then.
We're a wee lad, and
oh shit! I'm Kabuto now.
Jim, it's better once you get to 50. It's kind of like sliding in to a plate in baseball. It's like you're like, oh, thank God.
Well, I've been telling people I've been 50 for the last few months, just so that when it finally happens, it won't be such a big deal. I'm digging this stream. Thank you.
Yeah, because you don't want this. Are you surrounded by a lot of people that are older than you or younger? Because I could imagine that's a good policy if they're younger. You don't want them going 50.
Yeah, a lot of my friends are older. My girlfriend is quite a bit younger though, so yeah, that's a bit weird.
Ooh. And where are you now, Jim? Where do you live?
Davis, California.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I drive through there quite often.
Well, let me know next time.
Will do. That'd be cool to meet up.
Yeah. Are you still in San Francisco or?
No, I'm in Marin, in Larkspur, of all
No
places.
way. That's where I lived when I was working
yeah,
at Planet Moon.
Isn't that weird? I did that for the 20th anniversary just for you.
Thank you.
Quite a lot of work, really, to do that. Ta-da!
I mean, you went to some effort there, just for the surprise. Oh, the
It took
gyrocopter.
some planning, and even. Oh man, I wish I could see it. I just don't have a PC. I have a PC
God.
in storage.
You can
used
go to
for
Twitch.
a brief.
You can go to twitch.tv and just look at Kanasso's stream.
Oh man.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's streaming.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, that would be good to.
And some of us are recording as well. So, how's everybody's connection holding up?
Yeah, as you can see, I just lost connection.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not good. I have low FPS even when I stop recording. So
what? Wait.
That
Maybe
that
die.
gyrocopter. Getting the gyrocopter to work in multiplayer with multiple people attached to the same entity and trying to keep everything in sync without too much rubber banding and jitter. We had to make some, shall we say, compromises. But you know what? It was so fun. And I remember Tim insisting. I kept going, Tim, it's not going to work. It's never going to be fun. And he's like, no, it's got to work. We got to do it that way. Tim was like, he was so insistent. And I would get so mad. But then he would always be right in the end.
I know. I felt the same way about that with all the things that I'd worked on stuff with him, and like a character. Hey, so how do I follow this?
So are you at twitch.tv?
How do I follow this stream? Yeah, I am.
Search for Kanosso 2919. KNOSSO.
Okay.
2919.
Actually, I'll just paste that from the Discord. Discord gone.
That grab. Impossible.
you were just flying towards me, man.
Impossible.
Killing Spree. I don't remember Killing Sprees. Was that added in later?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
added. Yeah, that's added in this. This is new.
Okay.
There's also 2 new grenades in the mech shop. There's an EMP grenade and an incendiary grenade. So you have a grenade that sets things on fire and a grenade that drains jetpack fuel for the mechs.
Oh my god, the little time dome thing. I forget what that was even called.
Slow time.
Slow time, right.
Slow time.
Hey Jim, can you say that again? Knossos, how do you spell it slowly?
Yeah.
It's KNOSSO 2919.
Knossos.
No S at the end.
Yeah, it's KNOSSO. Yeah, but as I said, I mean, like, it's not like I'm a good player. No, definitely not.
No,
it would be interesting to see actually Tig's stream. That would be.
I'm not streaming right now. My laptop can't handle everything at
once.
Yeah,
same with me.
I'm just happy to see it at all.
Can't even keep connection.
Are you able to see it, Bob?
I turned up at the wrong. I'm on the. Hang on a sec.
What?
You guys can just share the link on Discord. You know that's.
I did in the general section.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, Bob, if you can't see it, try going to the general chat.
Hashtag general. On the left, you have the list of channels.
Guys, is it okay if I ask the question, Tig, about the inspiration for the game, perhaps before maybe?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So thank you. I just wanted to ask, guys, how the hell did you come up with such a good game concept and design, and what inspired you? Which games, perhaps? Can you tell us maybe something more about this? Because we're obviously still playing it. It's an amazing game, definitely. So
We didn't come up with it all at once. Probably the answer. After like doing MDK, I wanted to do a multiplayer game next, and there weren't that many games out there, and certainly none that were that interesting to me. Where just you're playing the same character and control. So I kind of just wanted to have something very, very diverse, and so the 3 races came out of that. Just create some unusual gameplay situations. And so it sort of started there, and then the game itself kind of grew over time. The aesthetic for it was really based on wanting to be on vacation most of the time, and so actually making a game that felt like an alien vacation place. What we all about. And so it just sort of started with a world,
Yeah, we literally,
and it built out very quickly and easy. In fact, we just kept putting out too much stuff, and we had to keep pulling back when we realized we were going to run a few years over budget and time.
Yeah, I think I remember we had this difficult conversation around should we make it first person or third person, and we said both, and then. Albeit pulling your hair out, but you did it, and it was amazing. It's like really a game to be proud of.
Like me and Dave, you guys would say it. Tim always had this way of coming up and go. He would never say, "Please do this." He would come up and go, would it be possible if And so me and Dave would go, "No fucking way. That's never going to happen. That's impossible." And then 2 days later would be like, "Okay, we tried it, and here it is." But I remembered Andy. He never had that attitude in the beginning. He was always just like, "Yeah, we can do that," or he'd be like, "I don't know, let me find out," and he'd come back 6 hours later with a complete working prototype.
Yeah.
I think that was because the MDK experience had been similar, but it's a smaller group, and if it's not like Giants was a huge amount of people, but the MDK was even smaller, and it was just it was one impossible thing after another, and so we kind of just got into that mode. Although Tim was the master of that way of saying,
Oh man,
would it be possible for you to turn the world upside down? And you're like, you can't ask them that. And I remember I'd come in to your room, Jim, and I'd say, "Hey, Jim, I know it's a lot to ask." I'd kind of have to like talk you off the edge.
Yeah.
And you give me that look, and I go, "Oh, that's Jim's look." Tim, why did you go into his room?
Honestly, it was so ambitious and like so creative. It was just really cool to be part of. I still think about that. But I can still remember
To
like
talk about Andy a little
Yeah.
more. We met him when we were working at Virgin doing Aladdin, and he was just like writing some tools, a contract programmer. And then when we left to start Shiny, and we need more tools, so we asked him to come and help. And so he's just this really mild-mannered guy, right? Very unassuming, no ego, and always said yes to everything. But at those times, we weren't asking him much, you know. But after Earthworm Jim 1, Dave said, "I'm not going to code anymore," and he asked Andy if he was interested in being the lead programmer and taking it on. And so that was kind of a big step up. You know, Andy was so experienced before the game industry. You know, he came from sort of business software, and he wanted to do this more fun. And so I didn't know what his skill level really was. And then so he picked up Jim 2, and just without missing a beat, and like stormed through that, and then I realized just how quick he was as well. And so when we started MDK, and MDK was a hell of a challenge because we were making a 3D engine from scratch, all software based. We were doing that because I didn't like the look of the sort of Doom engine. All those games kind of look the same, and I wanted MDK to be much more open and free flowing. And so that all just, we didn't know how we were going to do it. We just landed on Andy's lap, and man, he just kept pulling it out.
Nick, do you remember when we put basically Andy went? Nick we'd all had this conversation, but Nick had like expressed this really strong desire about really high res window on the PC and 3D, and Andy just went and bought all these 3D books, right? And he went away. He said, "Give me a little bit of time," and he came back and he basically learned 3D, and then he got up and running. And we basically shit ourselves. We went, "What?" Because he got this, he basically just went off and figured out 3D and came back with a 3D engine. I mean, there was a huge workarounds on it to make it work, but Nick, you and I were quite technical, so we were able to pull that off. But it was amazing, and
We couldn't tech for everything. We didn't have like memory or speed. We had to like flat shade a lot of stuff, so we made things with lots of shadows, so we could flat shade stuff. But yeah, we had to learn how to do it as well because no one had done 3D really. Even just building the assets and how we were going to lay it out, you know, everything was a question.
But yeah,
we thought about Good.
Oh, I just still remember seeing his like when I first came on to Planet Moon. I just remember like looking at the code base of what Giants was so far, and it was mostly Andy's and Scott's, and just seeing his coding style, you know, just seeing how he sort of laid everything out. He had like this sounds totally pretentious, but you know how like artists have certain styles, like almost like the brush strokes or the kind of how much oil they use. Like I could see his voice and his style and his manner of like coding all throughout the code base, and that survived all the way to the end. It's a very direct, like no nonsense style, and I remember like ever since then I've been trying to like emulate that because I just loved it because he was the guy who would just say everything was possible. He was the programmer where it was like 100%. He was like Mr. Possible, everything possible. Loved it. Miss him.
That's great. Yeah, that's a really nice thought. Scott's not on here, is he, Nick?
No, he's traveling. No.
Do you guys know that Scott? Do you know what Scott's been working on? I mean, Nick, you probably do, but Jim,
No.
Scott's been at Microsoft for quite a while. But he's the technical director of the flight simulator.
Really?
Awesome new flight simulator.
Like the one that just came out.
It's been the one that's just like just a gargantuan kind of pull together of all these technologies from Microsoft and other companies to be able to. I mean, you can like fly over your own town and it'll have the same weather as the town that you're in. And it's meant to be. I don't have a PC. I was thinking about getting one just to play it.
You know, I don't even play
but,
that many games anymore.
yeah,
I just watch people play on Twitch. That's how I spend a lot of my time. So I watched a lot of Flight Simulator on Twitch recently.
I don't really do that much. What I do instead is I have more children. I just had my 5th child.
Wow.
Congratulations. That takes up a lot of time.
Congrats, man.
Thanks. Well, he's a year old, but it's kind of like it's all relative. My oldest son is 21, and my youngest is 1. So spread.
Wow. Who's the father? No, I'm just kidding. How's is it Natasha?
I never asked that. I never. No. It's my second wife, Sarah.
Oh, okay.
I've been with for 10 years. Unfortunately, the games like Giants and MDK didn't serve my relationships very well.
Right.
Yes.
I understand.
I mean, if you think about how long the intensity of that, you probably do, I think we all do. So it's like that you can actually work that way and also have a normal relationship,
Right.
So that was kind of one of the. But it was like, I look back and because I'm no longer making games, I kind of got out of the games business. I'm still on the board of one of my companies, but as I look back on it, things like my 2 favorite experiences were actually MDK and Giants. From I made probably I don't know, over 50 games or something like that, that experience. Giants was just like everything about it was a kind of epic experience, including the amount of time it took.
Yeah.
But when you look back on it, you go, "It's very cool." Hey Nick, do you remember us sitting at lunch? Hey Nick, you there?
Yeah.
Nick,
you hear me?
Nick, remember the lunch that we had? Yeah. Do you remember the lunch that you, me, and Tim had when we finished MDK and we're trying to figure out what we're going to do next? And we were at that, was it a Hawaiian place, the Kentucky place? And we were having lunch, and we were talking about the art style, about what we wanted to make the game look like, and we were referencing all these. I think things outside of the normal popular culture, just like artists and painters and stuff like that. Do you remember that lunch?
There were so many lunches, Bob. Not a sober one.
That's true. There was one every day. I think there was there was probably 1,000 lunches within Giants. That's true.
There were actually strangely more lunches than there were days, and I don't know how we did that.
I
remember we would
warping effect.
Look for different unique ways of producing the art, so it didn't look like other games or look like it was built like other games, because a lot of the ways games looked were simply because of how their engines functioned. I don't even remember, but when we started, I was trying to get much more resolution to the game, much more polygons, and the game's made up, or the landscape's made up of the grid. I actually had detailed meshes for each grid. They were randomly generated, and then they blended together. I made Andy do all this crazy code, and obviously the frame rate just died. It just couldn't handle it at all. And I was trying to work out a way to optimize it. So in my head, the game was going to be much more detailed and rockiness and plants and everything. It was going to be much more crazier than it is now. We had to throw it that way, as we had to throw a lot of other stuff away.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was because that you and I were both quite comfortable again. I mean, obviously, I remember that, and but it actually turned out that we quite like sculpting things, so we just kind of went into the mode of kind of making an impressionistic style a landscape, and as you said,
also,
we made. Go ahead.
Also, once we understood the scale of the islands that we wanted, that kind of changed it too. Like we want to have the scale, and we don't want to have any drawing. So that sort of helped us like just throw away the detail, keep things, and then sort of sculpt the islands more, make them each one kind of feel a bit more like a character itself.
Yeah, that was actually a really enjoyable part of it, being able to kind of think about, how can you push this in a way to make it look like because we knew we were going to be able to, it was a pretty crazy thing because you could see it, you knew you were going to see it from a pretty high up angle, or because you could look at it from so many different vantage points, it kind of had to hold up. And the only way it could hold up is by kind of being, to some extent, sort of iconic, almost like a sort of like you pull out and you can kind of get this like great view of each island. I did want to say something because Tim's not on here. Do you remember when we finished the first cutscene? And Sean had animated it, and we had done one of the we rigged up all the characters, and we got one of the cutscenes working. It was a pretty funny one, and we basically proceeded to laugh for 5 hours early in the morning, because I mean we literally just kept on watching it again and again and again, and just laughing, just like our stomachs hurt, just because it was so fucking stupid. It was so stupid that it qualified for a never-ending laugh, and it was like just we felt like we managed to fire up the hydrogen bomb of laughter, like the particles would split, and we were just like, it was like so funny. I mean, and I remember we came back the next day and we looked at it just to see if it was still funny, and we did the same again.
I think that that absurd kind of humor that was in the cutscenes, I feel like that made its way into the sort of overall design of this game is fucking absurd if you look at it. There's no way to describe it. It's not like any other game. You couldn't say, oh yeah, Giants is just like that game is just like what? It's like nothing. So I can see why.
But that was a problem because I couldn't actually explain what it was to the marketing group. Even like a year into development, they still didn't really understand what it was we were building, and I couldn't actually explain it. So one time we had to actually go down there and show it off at one point because they were kind of getting concerned, and so we showed off a bunch of cool looking stuff, but they still didn't get what the game was.
Yeah, actually we went to E3 and they didn't know, and they were so nervous. They were so nervous because they didn't understand what it was that they didn't. Interplay didn't actually promote us, and so we sat down and we created posters for each. Luckily we could draw, and we did posters for each character, and then we put them up and when we went to E3. And do you remember, like the first day they were like, "Oh, okay, so you guys are doing that," and then we had like crowds of people around us. And the second day, they were, it was like a pretty big deal. Which was cool.
Yeah, we kind of needed that to happen. We didn't know it was going to happen, but that helped us a lot. Because really, if I had just gone in and pitched Giants into players if we hadn't worked them before, they would never have picked it up. We got to do Giants because of MDK, and when we pitched MDK, no one understood what we were doing. That meeting totally failed, and we had to follow up with a video. But we got to do MDK because we'd done Earthworm Jim, we got to do Earthworm Jim because of Aladdin. And everyone knew Aladdin, so it kind of started back there. And that's why, really when Giants was successful, it's really hard to start that sequence again. Because you have to kind of explain to someone your absolutely crazy, mad idea, and no one understands it, right?
You have to have crazy person's momentum, like Terry Gilliam had in his career, and when his momentum kind of went, it's like hard to go back to like the thing that you want to make is something even more challenging than Giants, right? but the problem is you kind of have to convince people to pay for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you don't want to
So-
make marketing nervous. So I feel like that's like with Armed and Dangerous. Like it was like, okay, we need to fit into a genre. You know, we need to fit this in. But you guys, of course, still tried to make it all fucking crazy.
Well, there was so much cut
Yeah,
out
it was,
back
it was
then.
spilling out. Yeah,
You guys
it's like
will not be
that was an example of Armed and Dangerous was like the it still had all of us wanting to be ambitious, but reined in so many ways, except for the cutscenes.
Yeah.
And
The game.
so the story.
We're going to call it Thieving Bastards, right? And it was a heist game, and it was going to be like a 3-player co-op. You needed all 3 of you working together to pull off this heist. And then we we just kept having to cut and cut. The budget really wasn't there, and LucasArts were going through some pretty tough times.
Nick, it was. Yeah, the management changed part of the way through. George Lucas wanted esoteric games because he had a game company, and then a bunch of the games didn't do well, and he absolutely didn't want esoteric games. So he had a switch. So he had a switch part of the way through. And Nick, it was also called Sons of Einstein as well as the Thieving Bastards. So we had some. Yeah. So that so quite awesome, really.
Canasso, did you crash or what happened there?
Yeah, no, I was. Yeah, it crashed.
That's probably Dave's fault.
I'm connecting again. Just give me a minute.
Oh, did the game crash on you?
No, OBS crashed.
Oh,
so
yeah.
now I just alt-tapped to reduce the resolution a bit. Maybe it doesn't crash anymore.
That's because it's funny. Because I was just about to ask you if you could go into the graphics setting and turn everything up to maximum, just so I could see what it looked like.
Oh, I can, of course. I will. Yeah. Just
is anyone else recording or not?
He's I don't know who's recording right now and who isn't. I mean he's
because
streaming.
I'm not. I couldn't. I tried, but it's.
I think Pleb is recording.
I'm recording also locally. I'll say.
Right.
So
yeah. We need something to record inside from.
It's pretty cool that Twitch actually has a Giants Citizen Kabuto category.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does.
It actually does. Yeah.
when I discovered it, I was like super amazed.
Even YouTube, if you put it into gaming, you can choose Giants Citizen Kabuto from the list. So even YouTube knows about it.
Wonder how they scrape every single game ever made for those lists, or if someone at Twitch and YouTube just has a soft spot for 20-year-old esoteric games.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they just probably some database somewhere.
Just scrape a Wikipedia page of every video game ever released.
I guess.
Maybe, but there are some games that don't have the category, and you have to be creative with picking it. Because on Twitch you have to pick a category that you're streaming.
And I think if you pick something often enough that isn't on the list, it will be on the list like a few moments later. They'll add it eventually.
Maybe, like new games that aren't really listed yet.
Giants is still streamed pretty often and uploaded on YouTube as well. It's mostly the single player, but a lot of
when I streamed Giants on Twitch those few months back, I think when you go into a category, you can see how many people are streaming this game.
Yeah.
And I think I was the only one the whole time.
Yeah. It doesn't happen a lot, but it happens.
Yeah, it does.
It's quite easy to become the most popular Giant streamer.
I just became.
I got 40 subscribers on my YouTube with just Giants videos. I'm making big bucks here.
It's to go for
Okay.
early 2000 games like Sacrifice and Giants.
Okay, now the game is pretty much maxed out. Though frame rate, yeah, it is what it is.
Frame rate, yeah.
Well, now your stream is too. It's got the wrong resolution, so I can only see a quarter of your screen.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. Okay, wrong resolution. Okay. No. Okay. That's
Also,
because.
And there's a
Okay.
nasty
by the
echo
way,
going on
by the
too.
way, also, if because you're streaming on Twitch, there is a possibility to save VODs from streams, and later those VODs, because Twitch removes them after a few weeks or a few months. But there is a way to download them, so that's something we might look into later. The VOD that's saved from your stream maybe can be downloaded and saved, so we don't lose it, because Twitch will remove it.
May I ask?
Okay, I'm not.
Okay, sorry.
Now it should be solved.
Yeah, it looks good.
All right.
Okay.
So, is there any possibility of First Wonder becoming a project that reaches conclusion?
Probably
Out of
not.
curiosity.
Only if someone wants to give me a couple of $1 million, but outside of that.
So what was the idea behind First Wonder? Because it kind of came out of nowhere. Like, there was nothing for a few years, and then suddenly that. What? Yeah.
Just a desire to get back to consoles initially. After Planet Moon closed, happened very suddenly, unexpectedly. I started a company called Rogue Rocket Games with Richard Sun, and we were just like experimenting in the mobile space, and spent a few years there. But to the point I realized I actually didn't like making mobile games. It was interesting for a bit, but then with the way everything sort of evolved, the models, I just didn't enjoy them. It's more like a finance model that you wrap the game around.
Yeah.
And so I was looking for a way to get back in, but we weren't funded at all in any way. So I'd always wanted to get back to Giants. So the plan was always to make a series of Giants games. So, you know, when we were working on it, I thought this is how I'm going to spend the next 20 years, just building Giants games. And that's where just, you know, my natural sort of design sense wanted to go. So it was just a desire to sort of go back there, and, you know, with the whole crowdfunding thing, we thought we would just give it a go. But we weren't super organized, and we couldn't really find a way to connect to the old fans, because, you know, there was no social media back then, there was no real groups in large numbers. So we spent some time, and even like some PR people actually gave some, you know, free help to try and do that, but it's still using a lot of the old like PR press. It just we weren't reaching people. We only really found a couple of thousand people who knew about us. And so even when we got to the crowdfunding part, so I still get lots of sort of emails from people who have just seen a bit of First Wonder on YouTube, and they're like, "What is this? How did I not know about it?" And
we still have a lot of people also joining us in the community, still asking about what it is and what actually happened to it. So it's actually gaining. It's gained more traction the last year than it did when you guys were working on it, which is odd. Yeah.
I mean, I still get pinged. I mean, I'd love to do it. Don't get me wrong, but the trouble is, you know, because I'm a kind of an independent guy, I don't work well with like big companies, big teams. But unfortunately, my ideas tend to be big. You know, it'd be great if I just like making small little things, you know, and then I could just do, you know, my own little projects. There's a certain scale to them, just naturally, and so it simply just requires a certain amount of money to do the vision work. What is interesting is, you know, just that the game engines have improved so much and they're so flexible. Well, when we made Giants, there wasn't a game engine that could support it, so we had to make our own engine. These days, you know, I can easily make Giants inside of Unity or Unreal or whatever, or some of the other ones. So definitely the cost of building a game like that has come down a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's still some heavy asset work to be done. So yeah, First Wonder, really was going to be a sequel to Giants, essentially.
Yeah.
3 races. Right, so just so I could carry on with the game mechanics and take them where I wanted to go. Because when you start something like Giants, you only kind of work out what the game is kind of as you get to the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then you kind of have time to actually do much more. So you really want to do that sequel, because the sequel is going to be everything that's matured and come together, and you really kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
And we got to do that, and I really wanted to do that because like the 3-way multiplayer had a long way to grow. And that's where the First Wonder was really sort of targeting. It was actually like adding new layers to the interactions that you'd have. So it's not just like direct on combat, but there's sort of each race has its own goal, and it's whoever completes their own goal wins multiplayer. But those goals force collisions between the different groups. It's going to have a very different structure to it. And I also wanted to really expand out the movement and capabilities of the Giant. You saw a bit in First Wonder, like how he could traverse around the world, things that he could capitalize on, and how he could use the opposition, to his advantage. So there was just a lot of things I was very excited about it. So hope at some point in the future, if I get the chance to do it, I will. But what I'm kind of doing right now really is sort of working on smaller scale stuff. And like at the moment, I'm actually, you guys know Tommy Tallarico and his whole Intellivision Miko reboot? Yeah, so I'm helping him out with one of his launch games now. But I work full time at a company called Other Ocean as an art director. I kind of got the bug to build stuff myself again. So doing this thing for Tommy was just something I'm doing on the side, and sort of having fun with that. And now I'm going to go and do a little 2D shooter in my style, and because that's something I can support myself. And if something like that grows and gives me the opportunity to kind of self-fund First Wonder, or even if I could ever get the rights back to Giants, the Giants, which is something many people have asked. We had a moment where we kind of should have had the rights come back to us. We had to deal with Interplay that if they were unactive in selling the game anyway for a couple of years and revert back. But because they put it on Good Old Games.
Nick, I thought you had. Nick, I thought you had the rights. I didn't realize that you didn't have them.
Oh no, because it just.
I don't know why.
We tried to talk to Hervé and just sort of declare that we have the rights now because you haven't done anything with the game for a couple of years. And then he sent some stuff back saying, "Well, no, I'm still selling 5 units a year here and there." And so it was messy. We would have to get into a legal fight, and it wasn't worth it. So he still has the official rights.
Do you think it's worth it? I have a really good attorney that can do exactly that type of thing. We should talk about that offline.
Sure.
$50 a year in royalties.
Sorry?
I didn't know that you didn't have them. So let's chat about that sometime.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous that he still has them. I mean, that's exactly the type of thing.
They're probably tied up with Planet Moon. It's probably tied up with Planet Moon because the contract was through there, and Planet Moon doesn't exist anymore. So that's kind of part of the.
Yeah, but that type of thing. Anyway, let's chat about that stuff offline.
Cool.
Because that seems entirely like Anyway, we'll chat about that offline because it's probably being recorded.
Yeah. Everything's recorded now. So.
I wanted
Be careful about what you say about
the evil laugh.
May I ask about the characters and about the mechs and the Reapers who came up with the personalities and who wrote the script? if there was any. You mentioned something about the cutscenes, but the characters are obviously great. So how did you guys come up with that? And then, yeah.
You want to
I'll do this. Yeah, I'll take this one. Tim Williams came up with the script with a lot of drunken influence from all of us, and but it was largely Tim's sense of writing style that was the first time he really got to. I mean, he wrote a script for MDK that never turned into anything, but that kind of sowed the seeds of his style of writing that made its way into Giants. And then in terms of the characters, we all kind of like it's quite collaborative. And then Nick and I we'd kind of go away and sketch characters and sort of show them to each other and evolve them and laugh and kind of like for instance the mechs, they were meant to be we just really wanted a squad-based character group, and but we thought it would be funny if that they were inspired by Cockney, like East London drinking guys, and they basically almost like Ready Player One before its time. That they kind of like infused themselves with British drinking culture, and but they were actually little small space blobs in a spacesuit. And then the Reaper Delphi was actually that was something that Tim and I had spoken about, and we wanted to come up with a character that was beautiful but not overly crass in terms of her shape, and but then we went ahead and took her, made her practically naked. And that version, I think, was pulled from Walmart just before we left it, and we had to kind of provide her with a bikini. But in Europe, it was on the front cover of like a ton of magazines as being it was actually well received at the time. You probably wouldn't get away with it now, but it was well intentioned to make a beautiful character that didn't really care about having to wear clothes. And then Kabuto, Nick, that was kind of like a combo. We kind of threw that back over the fence to each other, backwards and forwards, until it.
The cool thing with Bob the Artist was we actually built a desk, a single desk that we shared, like a 4-leaf clover. We sat around it so we could like work together directly on stuff. And while we had kind of different art styles, there was a lot of overlap. And sometimes we'd be drawing something, you get bored or run out of ideas, and I could just throw it over to Bob, or he could throw it over to me, and we just work on it and go back and forwards. And that was really nice because I hadn't done that with anyone before. It always kind of worked in isolation, and so it really helped keep things moving on, and also helped sort of create a unique style that way. And yeah, especially with Kabuto.
I would say that I think that was really a rare way of working. I don't think people. I've not worked with anyone that way since, and it's like our desk was shaped so that we could actually look over each other's screens.
I crashed.
Oh, your host server.
You killed the server.
So just the Discord is still on. That's good.
Yeah, Discord is separate.
This will wait a minute.
That's good because I want to be a Reaper now.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm sure there'll be another one soon.
We were also very bad coming up with names for the characters. That was actually one of the hardest things.
Brilliant.
I actually really liked those names.
Yeah, great.
A restaurant guidebook, and some of the restaurants that we go visit. Kabuto is from
Sorry guys, I crashed.
And the
I don't know
mechs
what-
were yeah,
That's fine.
I don't know what's gonna happen. Alright, let me set it back up again. Alright, server's back up.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, and the Smarties were named after the candy the sweets from the UK called Smarties, and they were I made a mistake when I was drawing one of the textures, and it ended up looking Siamese. It looked like its face had been blown up, and then I decided to put blue eyes in there, and it looks super cool. And so that's kind of like the
I remember that,
birth
Bob.
of the Smarties, and they ended up being
Yeah.
yeah. I went, oh wait, that looks good. And so it didn't look like a normal character, and it just had these blackened
nice,
eyes with these very blue eyes that kind of made its way into it made its way into Q and Armed and Dangerous. That the blue eyes, the like shocking blue eyes, because it kind of just seemed to be, I suppose, quite almost jarring. But they became the indigenous kind of race of the Giants universe. I suppose Kabuto was as well. The Sea Reaper. We didn't. I don't even think we discussed this stuff when we made it. But so maybe I'm just making it up as I go along now.
No, yeah, no indigenous race. I think the Reapers were kind of the upper classes of the world.
The German upper class.
That's right.
Parties were the peasants.
Yeah, and the Reapers were like quite extraordinary when we made them, because that ability to be able to cast and teleport fast from place to place. I'm not sure if I'd been. I don't think we were inspired by another game to be able to do that. That was our. I remember it just feeling insanely powerful, being able to do it. It was like one of those things when we were. Yeah, because it was too much of an advantage. So some of these things that ended up being organically designed as we were going, and you'd go, holy shit, that works.
Do you remember all the ships Reapers used to have their own fleet? And I don't know if you guys had ever seen this. What we'd released. We had these. There were two ships. There was a sort of larger galleon-sized ship, and then a smaller sub boat. That had this big wheel, other wheel.
Yeah.
And originally, when you undocked that, you could actually use it to carve channels in the island. It was meant to be a way of like controlling Kabuto temporarily, like being able to cut him off,
Yeah.
isolate, focus on him. And it was just one of those things that it was so big that we just cut the whole thing. It was too powerful, too big, but the concept of it I really love. And something like that would have been in First Wonder for sure.
That would have been nice. Yeah, we actually got the lander to sort of work in version 1.5.
Oh, really?
half.
Yeah,
we can fly it. We can fly it, and it can shoot. That's what it does.
Oh, fantastic!
But yeah,
Did you guys get the mech mothership?
Yeah, we can. It's a model we can put in the maps if we use the map editor. We have an open source map editor created like 15 years ago, and we can basically use all models that were in the game. And what I still love, I love to go through the game files with a little tool I have, and I just rip out some textures. And there's like 500 megabytes of discontinued stuff inside your game file still. Like textures for animals that never made it in there.
Yeah, and stuff like Wimperder.
There's a sea texture. There's a texture for under the sea ground that has my son. Was a baby at the time, and Tim's daughter. And
I know. Yeah,
And that was our little Easter egg to our kids.
We've
Yeah, it's visible on one of the maps.
it's visible on one of the maps, but I think it's because of the render difference, you don't quite see it right now. But if you rip out the texture, it's still visible, and I believe it's been posted on multiple websites, but they're offline, like the Old Giants Hell website.
It's visible on
Right.
the MVM
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
next to one of the bases.
yeah. But there's like this aqua, squid guy, this gray-skinned guy with a black wetsuit on, texture still in the game.
Do you mean the like kind of Sea Reaperman looking guy?
Yeah, it's like an old texture for a Sea Reaper, or
Yeah, because you uploaded those
yeah,
to Discord a few days ago, and there were also textures of like, for instance, mech formations that
yeah,
actually choose
formation.
a formation for your pals
Yeah,
during
yeah.
the mech career, or
Uh,
some additional spells for the Reapers.
Multiple different inventory screens for the races.
Yeah, that were not used and just
Yeah,
turned
yeah.
the game.
The original drawing of the planets were Nick, that you I think your first sketch had the world. I don't think I know that had the world being flat and having water flowing off the edge of the world. So it was actually a flat Earth, not a flat
Yeah,
Earth,
there
flat
is
planet.
a concept design, concept art.
So with the lander, remember what you could actually fly out of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's like isolated world, and so it would have been like multiple the islands would be multiple flat worlds in that sort of gas cloud kind of space that we had.
Yeah,
That was an idea as well. we got back, but we did actually build quite a bit of it.
You could actually fly out the ship and fly down to the planet.
That's
Oh wow!
And it was super cool. But it was it was complicated from a gameplay point of view because it was kind of it changed the pace of the game, and we wanted it to be an action game, not it would be almost like that really old game about 30, 40 years ago called Elite. It'd be more like a kind of a space travel game. And so it didn't kind of work, and I think there was a bunch of technical issues with that.
Daunting scale.
Back to the cutscenes. Nick, do you remember? Do you remember we were doing a presentation to Microsoft, and we were trying to get a deal with Microsoft after Giants came out, and we showed them the cutscenes.
Someone's got some TV going on in the background.
Maybe. I think it's
also turn off the mic. We can hear your mother.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That.
Yeah. All right, but we were in the middle of a story, so.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that there was a deal that we're trying to get with Microsoft. I think that the Xbox had, it might have been the second Xbox, and we were talking with those guys, and we had one of the senior guys in from the Xbox division, and all these marketing people sitting around, and we decided to play the cutscenes from Giants. And there's one where there's a Scottish guy called Bourgeoisie, and he talks about walking into traffic with his testicles hanging out. And we forgot that was the scene that we had actually put in. And
oh no!
There was just absolute silence in the room, and then somebody started laughing, and thankfully it was okay. I went, oh no, because it just like there's a bunch of I mean the comedy he was like, it's of a certain era, and
Yeah.
there was all these there's all these marketing women in the room, and it just it played really weirdly. Having this Scottish guy, and I was kind of like involved in a lot of the business side of the stuff as well, and there I am, clearly a Scottish guy, and and there's this guy going with my testicles out, and it was pretty funny actually, thinking back to it. Moments like that where and there was a Nick, do you remember actually that's an Armed and Dangerous one. I was going to say we had a meeting with LucasArts, and we were chatting about character design because we felt like we enjoyed doing character design as a group, and we put up Jar Jar Binks and we said how not to do it. I remember that was quite an uncomfortable part of a meeting. Remember that, Nick?
Yeah. Oh dear.
You said the name
I can't believe we did that. I mean, we needed the money so much. I can't believe we did things like that to ourselves. It's like we needed this deal so badly to happen, and then we put up Jar Jar Binks in front of a bunch of executives who were responsible of that for Lucas's vision, and put up Jar Jar Binks and said how not to do it. Give us money.
Said the names were from a menu. The connection was lost with the server. You said the names for the macarons from a menu from a bar, and Kabuto maybe or something else. We didn't hear that part.
Kabuto was a sushi restaurant.
Kabuto was a Japanese.
Okay.
Awesome.
The rest were all. Delphi was from Julie Delpy, who's an inspiration, a French actress that
Jim was in love with.
We also like to watch. We in our spare time when we weren't watching things like Aliens and really good sci-fi movies, we were watching some fancy French movies that were very inspired by a lot of that stuff too. So I think the thing that was quite interesting about the way that we worked together was that our influences came outside of the games business, and I still say this to people who are creative that are younger now, which is that don't keep try and find your inspiration outside of the industry you're in. Otherwise, you're not going to create anything new, And we very much thought that way. We actively thought that way when we were. I mean, we still had lots of influences from movies and stuff like that because we loved that.
Yeah.
But we did try and think outside of books and art and nature and stuff like that. So.
It seems more pressing than ever.
Well, Nick, we need to make a documentary about this, I think.
That would be amazing. But make it a long one, please. Not those half-hour ones. Make it at least an hour. With all the details you can.
I think we'll make it 3 years long, and it'll be an accurate timeline
for everything that happened.
Make it a trilogy of 1 year long each. Space it out a bit. Some more money.
I'm sure people will be racing to give us money to do
yeah,
that.
for sure. Definitely a top hit for the Oscars,
Yeah, exactly. It's 3 years. 3 years long. No, I think it would be good to do something like that. It was a very cool experience. Can't believe it's 20 years. I remember during the making of Giants when the first year, the first year, I made a joke that I said, Giants shouldn't take any longer than it would take for my son, who'd just been born, to be able to actually say Giants. I remember in the second year, my son, we were chatting and I heard him say Giants, and I went, oh, bugger. He was able to live.
Well, Interplay kind of ran out of money. Interplay ran out of money, and we never really finished the game. Because, I'd say that the mechs were the closest to being complete than the Sea Reapers, but the Kabuto levels were very rushed.
Yeah. When you play the campaign, you can actually see
Brian,
that.
It should have been probably 4 years, sadly.
yeah, I think I think we had to. A whole bunch of stuff that happened at the end there when the company got taken over, and we had to kind of scramble to safety, and getting the game out itself was no. It was like that hard. It was hard to. It was kind of like a crap ending because also Andy was incredibly ill, and so it was a little bit of a. It was a little bit of a it was definitely a sort of a heart of darkness sort of moment where that you kind of going in this gargantuan journey, and that. And sort of once it ended, it was actually, I don't know. I like when it ended, Nick. It almost felt like just we were in a haze for 6 months afterwards because it basically taken our entire lives up for 3 years. So it was kind of like a pretty crazy moment.
I mean, MDK was a hard slog. I mean, we did that in a year. Giants going to 3 years when we kind of like were banking on 1 to 2 years. And of course, that last year is very stressful when you're the publisher who's running out of money and wanting to release that game as soon as possible.
I've also been meaning to ask you a question. This is Brass, by the way.
Well, anyway, it's all cool that it's. I really can't actually believe that when you said the other day that it was an anniversary. I was like, I was thinking, oh, I've got 20 years. I remember we moved to San Francisco to kind of that whole endeavor.
Yeah.
Our choices were. Do you remember our choices were? We were like, what do you think? Should we go to the Bay Area or should we go to Italy?
By the way, how did you end
Trying to
up
figure out where
working?
the best places that had the best vineyards, because they're inspiration.
I don't think they can hear you, Brez. Brez has a question, but I don't know if you guys can.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, this Bresses, I'm a German fan of this game. I used to play it in 2000 back during the day, and just congratulations on the anniversary and on creating such a charming and unique game. And I've been wanting to ask you how you came up to work together with Jeremy Soule on the score, because I think he also greatly contributed.
Yeah, he did, and thank goodness. So the music side of things are pretty an odd journey. So when we started, there was a musician, I can't remember his name, that Interplay wanted us to use, and so we started talking to him, but then something mysterious happened and he just disappeared off the map, and they're like, we need to find someone else. And so they wanted to use Mark Snow, who did the X-Files music. That sort of sounded kind of interesting to us. I didn't want the X-Files sound, but I was like, oh, wow, an actual known composer. That's kind of cool. So Bob, and our producer from Interplay, and we went down to meet Mark Snow. And I had problems straight away because we were trying to describe the concept of the game to him, and he just looked so confused. and so I was trying to break it down to very simple language and images rather than trying to get too much into the game. And he felt more comfortable just talking to our Interplay producer, which was like, that guy doesn't really even know I understand our game. But we're like, okay, well, we'll go away and see what he comes up with. But I was very explain to the game.
Nick, before Nick, let me add something in that because that's a funny story. That we went down there and he not only didn't understand, we kind of freaked him out, right? And he started playing some stuff that sounded super post-apocalyptic, whereas we wanted it to kind of sound lively and adventurous. And we were like, yeah, kind of on a scale of down, could you dial it back from 10 to like 2? He was so far off the mark, and he just didn't get it at all. And I don't think he expected us to.
Everything sounded kind of like the X-Files.
crazy.
I remember when we got our first samples in, it just sounded like nuclear wasteland, cold, and I was like, wow, this guy. Does he not understand what I'm saying? I couldn't work out how to communicate to him, or whether he was just locked into that style. So that went on for a little while, and the trouble is, every time you sort of change a musician, you've lost part of your budget. And then Interplay was getting tighter and tighter for them, and so they introduced us to Jeremy Soule, and I think that they worked out a deal with him so he could retain the music, so they could get him for a better rate. But at this point, I was feeling a bit down because the sound stuff wasn't coming through, and I didn't know Jeremy Soule at the time. So I just I gave him my pitch for each of the races and kind of what we wanted the feel of them to be. And the very first stuff he sent us was just spot on. I don't think I got him to change anything. I was just happy with everything he sent, especially I remember for the mech, because I always had like the mechs were based a little bit also around the Magnificent Seven. And so there's a little Western aspect to it, and he got that. Then when we went to the Reapers, and he shifted that tone, and he matched the style that we're building, and I was just so happy. I was like, oh, I don't have to fight with this guy or anything. I could just let him go, and he did it really fast as well. I don't know when I can't remember exactly when he came onto the project. There wasn't much time or budget. And so, yeah, he was a bit of a hero for us on that.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a huge moment. I mean, Nick, I remember that you were really. We're all obsessed by music, but you were particularly obsessed by the notion of soundtracks and the sound being right, and it was great that you kind of held the line on that stuff. And when we got to listen to those first ones and we built these landscapes, being a person spending so much time in our own universe and then having a soundtrack to it, kind of mind blowing. It was so good. The music, we're like, oh, thank God, there's a soundtrack to our place, and so it was a really, I'd totally forgotten all that, but it's that was a magical moment, getting the soundtrack in there. It was really great.
Because at that time I used to have a massive film score collection, and so when I was doing that or MDK, I would just like find tracks, and they'd be from all different types of movies, a track here, a track there, just to sort of capture the essence of something, and then try and get people to sort of build around that. But that was less so on Giants because I was having trouble finding tracks that would work just from film scores. So I think I had a few pieces in there, but they were actually very different from what Jeremy finally produced.
That's right. I think we had a Fifth Element in there for the Sea Reapers, and there's some really cool. We did have cool placeholder stuff. So there's no way we weren't going to have a soundtrack. I mean, you and I used to listen. We had that. We'd listen to the soundtracks, and we had a dual splitter for our headphones, and we'd both be drawing and listening to the same soundtrack, or a Criterion DVD making of some movie at the same time while we're working away.
It always kept us in sync.
Well, I do think I would say a sort of shout out to everyone. If this is being recorded, I'd give a shout out to the entire team. That everyone was like, the fact that they put up with all the crazy ideas that we all came up with, and in particular Tim's way of asking for things, where that he was always being polite, but absolutely. I wasn't going to back down, but he looked like he was going to. It was great that the team managed to pull through and pull off a great piece of I mean, it's a great game, I think, and I look back on it fondly. But it's also, it's a, it feels like a little bit of a work of art, and it's definitely a labor of love. So you don't get many of those to a lifetime. So it's kind of super cool that we made it, Nick.
Yeah. It's not over yet, Bob.
I know.
I have a quick question.
I feel like we have to. I feel like we have to have a phone call and wrestle Giants back and have a think about that.
we say you should figure that out.
Definitely.
For the good of the community and everything involved.
Yeah, it's not in its rightful place. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It feels like that needs to be remedied. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna have to get going because I have young children running around and I have to help out. But
right, understandable.
Delightful.
I actually need to go pick my kids up.
And
it was good talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, likewise. And happy anniversary to Giants, and thanks for your support. Great stuff. All right, guys, gonna go.
You're very
Nick,
welcome.
talk to you soon.
All right,
Yes,
thanks.
thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for being here.
Goodbye.
And same from me, guys. Thanks so much. It's amazing to see the game. I could actually still play it. Actually, I feel better now. I feel it's been a lot.
All right, that's nice. It was great having you around. Be sure to pop in sometime. We'll be here.
I always mean to. Surprising with the COVID thing, the games industry is as strong as ever, maybe stronger than before COVID. So I'm kept very busy. And then I've got 4 kids here myself.
Yeah, I know.
So, I never get to play games. I just go look at them every now and then.
Yeah.
And then trying to carve out time to actually work on my own stuff. So it's great. Anyway, great to see this. And I will try and pop in every now and then and let you guys know if Bob and I can make any movement on this.
Yeah.
Where we go from there.
Yeah, keep us updated. Keep us updated on your projects and stuff. We'd love to know. So.
All right, well, thanks, guys.
All right, you're welcome. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Now everybody's gone quiet.
Yeah, we're here still. I wanted to ask about Evolve and what they think about the games that are maybe inspired by Giants, but I don't know.
Yeah, Evolve was like based on that, at least. Inspired with Giants.
Yeah.
We used to laugh when it released that it's a Giants ripoff.
We called it a Giants ripoff. That's what we called it. It was like it's so. It kind of you could kind of feel it. I don't know. There was kind of like this feeling, like they got this inspiration from somewhere. They've had to.
Yeah,
They've had to.
like a giant beast getting chased by guys with jetpacks. I think I've seen it somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. We can ask them next time when they join, maybe. So it was a great call, definitely.
Oh yes, definitely. We got to learn a lot. That's what we did.
Yeah.
That was really nice. And well, we've instigated something here about rights of giants.
Yep. It's very important, actually.
Yeah, about the rights that's in the wrong people's hands. So yeah.
And have these guys joined this channel before? I mean, this Discord channel, or was it just recently that it came out?
Nick has been here for a little while since we've announced the anniversary and that patch 1.5 was coming out. And the other guys just joined right at the moment we started playing. So that was pretty new.
Do you know how many people were involved in the production of Giants?
I think 12 or 13 people. Like in the actual core production team, and like more like 10 or 20 other people beside that.
Oh. Right, so maybe next time we could even get more people to join, more from the staff. Would be cool.
Well, I hope he keeps us posted on his projects, especially on what is going to happen with the rights of Giants. Because, like he said, if he had the rights, he would give them away to the community. So that's that would be nice, and people can actually start making stuff out of it and with it. It's just a shame that it's just a shame that nobody has the source anymore. That's just,
right. I was just about to ask about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the source is gone. Nobody has it stored anywhere. It's probably somewhere on a dump in a hard drive far away. That's most likely.
So you can't access the source code, right? Even if you have permission.
No.
Oh, and yeah, didn't they keep it somewhere on their hard drives? No.
No, none of them keep it anywhere. I mean, they left it with Interplay basically.
Yes.
The rights weren't them, so they left it with the people that had the rights to it. So, and then it got lost. And well, like Nick said, like the guy that has the rights is like, yeah, there's like still 5 units per month being sold. I'm keeping the rights.
Oh my god.
Which is not right in my eyes as well. So I hope they can work that out and maybe get back the rights to Giant so he can actually use his own game for inspiration for new games.
Make a sequel or,
Like he said, make a sequel or actually work further on the idea of First Wonder with more of Giants Incorporated. But yeah, money is his issue at the moment. He's funding now, so. Well, the thing is, like, the guy that holds the rights has sold it to, of course, Good Old Games and Steam. And Steam and Good Old Games are getting money from the game. So the guy that holds the rights is still getting money from Steam and GOG. So as long as there's money being asked for the game, as long as it's not free, somebody's making money on it.
Yeah. It's still not abandonware, unfortunately.
Still not abandonware for sure.
Amazing to hear that they want.
I think that if you don't renew the rights to something after a certain time, but I think since Giants is still up for sale, legally the rights don't expire. Don't know exactly how that works, but the rights have to be like, nobody's using it anymore, nobody wants it anymore. They have to give it free, they have to give it away.
But the fact that patches are still being produced is rather an argument for being open, because it just raises the value of a game when you can play it on modern systems with a lot of quality of life features added, and so that would rather speak in favor of sharing some, or granting the modding community some rights to make changes.
We've tried to contact Steam and Good Old Games a few times about like, the version they have is version 1.4. Even now on modern machines, you already needed the beta patch to play online, basically on the servers we have. So without us, Steam and GOG are selling a game that doesn't work.
Yep,
on
exactly.
its own. So yeah, they're riding off of our backs for free. That's what they're doing. And we don't legally have anything to say about it because we don't have rights to the game. They can just as well, the guy that has the rights to the game can just as well shut the patch down if he wants to.
Yeah. But we can see that games on GOG get like some people give bad reviews because the games don't work as expected, and
Yeah.
shipping them actually, having the possibility to download a GOG game with patches, with community patches pre-installed would greatly benefit this.
True. That's what we've tried, but they see the patches more as a modification rather than an actual upgrade to the game because it's not made by the original developers.
Yeah, it's not official, of course. But
it's not official, and as long as, well, it can be made official if the person that has the rights says it's official.
Yeah,
That's,
exactly.
So if Nick can get the rights back, he can declare the patch official, and it can be uploaded to Steam and Good Old Games. So that's something for the future.
Hope.
That was a weird way I worded it.
He said he wanted to work on Giants for 20 more years, if I heard it right. So that's amazing.
Well, when they first started developing it, they thought they were going to make at least a 3-part game, a series out of it with multiple instances. But yeah, Planet Moon went bankrupt suddenly, and Interplay was leaking money. So yeah.
Somehow,
it's what tends to happen sometimes with games.
It's a very typical scenario, though, when you consider many old games that the fate of the like very unclear situations regarding source code and rights stuff, and this is the old GOG story.
Yep. And stuff like the old game. I mean, I think in nowadays, if you develop a game, there's like 500 copies of the source code everywhere. Back then, in the 90s, when you were developing a game, it was probably on 1 or 2 hard drives, and that was it.
They learn to back up.
Yeah, back up multiple.
Wow, Wow, I can finally join, I think. I've been trying for the last 15 minutes. Finally. I've just been connecting and then not seeing anyone. Just stuff was happening around me, but no players around visible. And then after 5 minutes of waiting, I just get disconnected again.
That is all.
That's
we have
frustrating. But at least I could hear Nick and the guys talking on the voice chat. That was more important.
So I was wondering whether a save system could be implemented in a patch that bring it on the same level as the console version, that you can manually save points, or are there technical issues with that?
That's a question.
Well, in some instances, it's really annoying when you're way into a mission and there's some sometimes, like recently, I was like sniped from 100 HP to 0 HP, and then I just had to repeat the entire mission.
Yeah.
I can see where that's frustrating.
Yeah, but that's still, you have to look at the viewpoint of somebody who hasn't played the game a lot yet.
Yeah, someone who plays it for the first time.
And I can see where it comes from, but yeah.
Well, of course, it could be like...
There is an...
There you have your answer.
Press F2 to see the chat log. That's your answer.
Yeah, by the way.
Weird. Well, I mean, I can make single-player type levels using the map editor. You just have to host them for you yourself.
Yeah.
That's possible. Well, there's no, but
Definitely not.
no.
Definitely not. The tools from 20 years ago.
You can bet that I would try to take with me a copy of it, even if I wasn't supposed to. Like maybe not telling anyone until it is safe to tell. But
Yeah. Oh, hold on.
It's legal stuff in the US, so maybe.
yeah, but like right now, I'm like super sure that if for some reason the rights to the source become like public, the source will magically come to us.
That's possible, and let's hope it's so. Yeah. What's happening with the Unreal version of the game? Someone is making the Unreal level or levels. I'm not sure.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that's
One of
Tiny from the community. He's in his free time, but he recently became a father for the first time and stuff. So he made like the
very
first.
busy with life.
Yeah, he made it in the Unreal Engine. So he basically ripped the objects from the game using the old 3ds Max 7 tool. But yeah, it's basically a recreation of the first level. It will never be a full, complete Giants remake.
Yeah. And it takes a lot from your computer to play.
And I cannot run it on what I have here.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I burned. I think with the Unreal remake, I burned a couple of power supplies. Pretty fun actually, but yeah, all the smoke.
It loaded for me, but it was impossible to do anything.
Yeah. Just me and Tig are owners of office laptops, not even gaming laptops.
Well, soon I'll probably have.
Yeah, you're gonna have a PC soon, but
I'm gonna have a PC
like
soon.
I have been using an office laptop since 2016, and the only good thing about it is I have 12 gigabytes of RAM and an i5 CPU. But the graphics card is shit because it's not a gaming laptop. I have a GeForce 920M, and it's
Yeah.
garbage. So yeah, I'm not gonna run.
So then it's safe to say that nobody's playing Cyberpunk of you guys with that.
It would never start on my Phenom 2.
I was about to say, all these people chose to play Giants today instead of.
Yep. pretty audacious to host it this weekend, but of course it's the anniversary, so there's.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Everybody just playing Cyberpunk. People streaming it all over Twitch. So much.
Either playing
so that,
or watching the slideshow.
Yeah, I was watching a Twitch stream recently. I think it was before the public release. It was when the first day every single YouTuber, Twitch streamer, and influencer got their hands on it because they got the early access. And I was watching some other stream. I was watching like a speedrun of Most Wanted, and I couldn't watch it because the streamer was dropping frames all the time, basically, because everyone was streaming or downloading Cyberpunk.
Damn.
And the streams were unwatchable because of that.
Also, the footage you see in a Twitch stream can, of course, be like it has to be encoded by the CPU or GPU. So even if the gameplay is fluid, the Twitch stream may end up with a bad frame rate because of high CPU load or something. So it's
Yeah,
very,
but that is less of a problem because like I have a 12 years old CPU, and I'm still able to not reduce my frame rate while streaming. So I think you can find some decent settings. So
Why didn't Buster stay? He stayed for 5 minutes?
Yeah, probably he had like I'm only guessing, but maybe his connection was so shit that he just gave up, you know. Because normally when we play, even with a reduced amount of people, with like 4 or 5, when he connects, he has got some problems with his connection. So maybe he just couldn't play at all, and he couldn't hear anything because he's not on the Discord.
Yeah,
So
true.
maybe he just gave up with that.
Yeah, I just suddenly saw he wasn't there anymore. But
Yeah,
I still
I
don't know
only
why. I still don't know why I crashed. I got no error reports, nothing. The game just froze, and it.
well, I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just taking a lot of resources.
Too many packages for Cyberpunk going around in it.
guys,
Yeah.
since most of us will be like vaccinated for COVID in about a year or so, would it be possible to actually do something like 21st anniversary, like really
Oh yes.
somewhere, like a real event, like I don't know, even a couple of days in center of Europe, since it seems to be like.
I mean, even if we pick a place and get some people, then you know, as you can see, even for an online event like this one, this is the 20th anniversary of Giants, and I was actually hoping to get the server full, and we didn't even do that. At the very at the best moment, we had like 16 people, I think, max. So imagine
17.
making or maybe 17. So imagine actually making an online event in real life. So I don't know, maybe 3 people would come.
I don't care. Even if
Yeah,
it's just even if it's just 2 or 3 of us.
I think at least I think that the majority of these 16 people today, they would have joined like a real event. Like
Well, have
okay,
to. Not everybody, because not everybody in here is on the same continent we are right now.
oh yeah, that can be a problem. Okay, true.
But like me, you, Rev, Clap, Freaky, if she ever comes. I mean, we can technically meet up. We have talked about
Yeah.
meet. I mean, I've met Cynical Pleb like we met last summer, so it's not that weird.
I still have to give you a visit.
Yeah, he gave me a visit. So yeah, and then well, I was gonna go over there later this year, but then COVID and yeah. But yeah,
I
we
was
did
trying
talk
to
about
say,
like doing it like in Germany or something. Rent something off in Germany. Take a hotel there that's kind of central for most of the people in Europe.
yeah, I was trying to say that I should give you a visit eventually.
You should. Everybody's always welcome here, so
Perhaps during
that's
summer
no.
holidays, maybe the lockdown is off by
That's
then.
Italy. I'm totally super disappointed by the way they are handling the situation. Most of the people here would not be vaccinated this summer, so if you do something
Yeah.
this summer, I'm not sure if if I can come.
By the time I'm vaccinated, it will be 2022. I promise you that. It's
You
not
don't
gonna
like
happen.
vaccines in general, or it's
Yeah.
because like
No, it's the amount of vaccines available and the amount of people taking them. They're gonna do the elderly and the weak people and the care people first, then they're gonna do people in supplies and stuff like that. And somewhere at the end of the line is the healthy young man that doesn't have any medical issues. I belong to the last group of people that will get vaccinated. Hold on, my cat needs me.
Same.
Yeah, I think that fortunately applies to most of us, I think. But at the same time, it sucks.
Good thing is we're healthy all so yeah, that's the pro stuff, I guess. I know kids here who have had COVID twice, so and there's nothing wrong with them, just a minor fever or even nothing at all. So it depends on your general health, I guess. If the or older or have some earlier symptoms or issues, have problems with that, but yeah, most of the population will get the flu. Yeah, so nothing to be too worried about. But yet again, it's obviously very problematic. So it depends in which group you are, as Stig said.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in the safe group of people. I can still die from it, but I'm not really worried I'll be hospitalized or anything from it.
Within the safe gamers group, right?
See, but
It's avoiding it.
that is the strange part of how they are handling the situation, because like the people that go out most are the ones that are more prone to get infected and infect other people. But those are the young people. So like young people are the ones that are infecting everybody. So it would make sense to like start the vaccination or of like teenagers or like children that you can really tell a child or like a teenager with like a girlfriend you cannot really tell them to please don't hack your friends or please don't play football with people that you barely know.
No, but if you first vaccinate the weak people and people working in care, you can let go of the lockdown. If you start from the bottom up and start injecting the strong people first, you will have to wait until everybody has been vaccinated.
Oh yeah, I mean I wasn't talking about adults, but like teenagers. I think the majority of the infections, I think it comes from them. So
The majority of infections here is probably related to, well, children going to school and then coming back home.
yeah, exactly.
That's where a lot
If your child is vaccinated.
Also, like I work in a furniture store on a furniture boulevard. Like there's multiple supply stores with wood and shit like that. And people flock to our store like it's Christmas. And they've been flocking to our store like it's Christmas for the entirety of the whole COVID crisis because all the bars and restaurants are closed and shit like that. People have to work from home. Even schools were temporarily closed, but we were still open. And we're one of those locations. I'm like, yeah, the local cafe around the corner had better precautions in place than my current job can ever do. So here we're in like this weird type of lockdown where there's no pleasure, only business. Everything's open except fun things like theater, movies, bars.
Yeah, that's kind of bizarre.
Yeah, everything else is closed. Everything you can have fun with is closed or is closing early. Like, I mean, I'm Dutch, so you can buy weed and you can buy weed here and stuff like that. Nothing can be sold here after 8 in the evening. Same as with alcohol. No more alcohol after 8 in the evening. But on Monday morning, you can still get into the airplane and go to a holiday destination.
yeah, same for us. Like after 6 o'clock p.m., nothing can stay like open.
Mm-hmm.
But then during the day, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So basically, you're just pushing all the people to stay more close together during the rest of the day, in my opinion, so that they can get more infected. Because
I mean, stores stores here close earlier, that means that there will be more people at less hours.
Exactly. That is precisely my point.
It doesn't work. I mean, I usually go to the store at like, well, they're usually open till like 9 or 10 in the evening here in town, and I usually go late. Now I have to go earlier than I'm used to, so I add to the people that would usually already be there at that time.
Yeah, that is precisely my point.
Yeah. But yeah, now there's this. We just had the mandatory mask thing since the 1st of December, so it's now a mandatory thing everywhere except outside. In every public place, you have to wear a mask now. Which is
I mean, it's reasonable, like, in order to stop people from dying.
And it does help with the crowding because the trashy people that wouldn't live by the rules won't come to the store now anyway because they have to live by the rules. I'm still having no issues at all.
Yeah, I'm having also a lot of luck. It's basically working perfectly. No problems.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Rev, I guess you do have issues, but it's working great here, so.
What kind of issues?
I think Remington can't join or something like that, right? If I'm not mistaken. Lag and stuff with servers, right?
Who can join?
This is programming, right? Coding the game, right? And fixing stuff. Is that
yeah.
Thoughts, yeah. So what are the limits of things that can be done with from your side if Toss is here? I think.
Yeah.
I think. Okay.
I think he's just observing what can go wrong.
Yeah. So do you guys know what's possible? I think Tig, you told me once there are some possibilities, but not everything is open. So yeah. What else can we do in 1.6 maybe or stuff like that?
It's just gonna be for now. It's just gonna look prettier and have less bugs. There's still plenty of bugs to be fixed, but don't expect any core gameplay changes.
Yeah.
It seems like when after I installed the 1.5 patch that textures in the distance somehow look blurrier. Is there some reason for that, or could I have maybe like a wrong setting or something, because like it's like almost like a very strong LOD or something, like low resolution textures. Like the more you glance into the distance, the more the blurrier the textures get.
There's a fog, of course, but I don't really see blurriness.
Almost seems like bad texture filtering, but I don't know what it is. But it could also even be some sort of haze or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the haze is like the fog effect, and that really depends on the map you are on.
Oh, that was the same map. Maybe I can install a second installation with the earlier patch and compare or something.
Yeah.
I mean, the save game situation is one of the most annoying things, that like the fact that it often, when you reinstall it, it doesn't recognize the save games. I just had an issue with GOG Galaxy when the launch launcher forced me to reinstall the game, and I thought, well, okay, I can just rename the old folder, install the game, and delete the vanilla version, and then repaste the old folder. But then it just reverted to my old profile. So it's like you cannot really touch the installation. Otherwise, you will it won't recognize your saves when you change too much.
Yeah, I don't think you can place back the save folder in a new installation. I think I've tried it before. It just wouldn't work at all.
Oh, you can reuse saves when you have the same. It actually, there's some sort of workaround that I use that like to reuse my old saves. I'm not sure whether the profile name has to be the same, but you basically start a game, and then it creates the first save game, and then you just switch those files.
That's what I did wrong, I think.
Yeah.
I think I just made a profile and was like, why aren't my...
Yeah.
I posted in my saves, so I was like, why aren't they there? But I don't need the save points, so...
Yeah. So like No One Lives Forever has very similar issues. Like once there's some minor changes to the installation, it won't recognize the save files, and it can be quite infuriating when you're halfway into the game. So it's kind of, you have to treat the installation like a raw egg.
You can still use this cheat.
Or direct loading of
there is a
maps,
cheat
you mean,
to
or
every single mission.
oh yeah, right.
All missions are
kind
good
of.
to go.
Yeah.
It's kind of a workaround.
If you type that in a chat while you're playing the game, you unlock all missions from the entire game.
Oh,
yeah, that's
cool.
the only in-game cheat that was left.
Yeah.
Because there were multiple, but
yeah,
they were removed.
In the chat, while you're playing single player, right? You open the chat and play.
Yeah, and then type that, and then you unlock all the missions from all the races, and you also get access to load some of the multiplayer maps in single player, but you'll just be a free floating camera.
Can you spell that? DAT or something else?
All missions are
press
good.
F2. Press F2. I just typed it in the chat.
Okay. All missions are good to go, right? That's it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a good trick. So you don't have to. I enjoy playing the game, obviously, from the start every time. But
yeah.
The only downside is that if you want a particular weapon at the start of a level, you have to finish the previous level first.
Yeah, I know that. That's something I know. Yeah, that's something that has to be done definitely. And what was the trick for saving the games? Save game files. How do you save them? Basically, maybe you don't need to with this cheat, let's say. But how did you save the folders? What did you say? I didn't get it.
It was like it was like creating a new save, like letting the game create its own new save file, and then just switching the files, because the point is, for each new installation or new profile, there has to be a proper way of registering those files, and that entry that that points to the save files, that can be a very difficult thing that can be removed through some reason, and then it won't detect your old save files. So make sure to back up your save files. And for some reason, with my installation, it's basically not in the game folder, my save files, but they are in, I think, application data or somewhere, or in saved games or somewhere. So you have to make sure that you have the right save files that you back up. I like to check my save files, like the timestamp. So when you close the game, the save game should have around the same time, of course. So otherwise, he will back up old saves.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe I can add an entry to the PC gaming wiki or something.
Yeah, that would be great. definitely. But next time with the new patch, though.
Yeah.
Try this one with the cheat also. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think
I guess.
I think I read the tip somewhere in GOG forums or something. So there's also an entry there, but I may as well add that to the PCGW.
Have you guys played the Build the Base maps a week ago or something like that? I saw it, but I couldn't.
Yeah,
join.
we played base build last week with basically these people. almost the same group that's online right now.
How was it?
We'll probably do that tomorrow.
I enjoyed that one also. Is that
Wait, you played base build last week? What?
Not last week, but the week before.
Really?
So.
Yeah, you were there.
You mean the big base build event?
Yeah.
Oh, because I got confused because I heard 1 week ago and I was like, wait.
No, that's 2 weeks ago. That's 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll do that again tomorrow. We'll do that again tomorrow during the normal event time, I guess.
We can do base build tomorrow.
Yeah.
8 p.m. or 8 p.m.
Because why not?
In the afternoon or in the evening?
In the evening.
Evening, okay. Were there any bugs or did it work with the Smarties and what?
Well, it can still desync, but it didn't happen. It didn't crash, it didn't break, it didn't burn, so.
That's great. What was the win condition? Who builds the base first or something like that?
Oh no, we didn't. We didn't have a win condition.
Just first of all, the first part of the game is just fighting for the Wimp meat. It was actually very, very hard because there were like 15 or 14 people on the server. And, when you get to the Wimp meat and you want to take some, there is suddenly 6 people shooting at you because they also want the meat. And when we finally built our bases, it was all about capturing the flag because I believe we had also flags enabled. So the first part is, get your base built, get the meat, and that's super difficult, getting the meat.
Yep.
What happens if you die after getting the meat? Can the other player take it, or it's simply lost?
No, it just lost, unfortunately.
Okay.
It would be cool if the player dropped the meat and somebody could pick it up, but it's not the case.
Is there only one herd of imps, or maybe two? Can you add multiple herds? I'm not sure. The wimp. Can you add the multiple herds of wimps that go around? And
it depends. It depends on what map you are playing on.
There can be more added.
I mean, if I turn the Vimp on now, there's just going to be one Vimp herd on the map.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but
it
maybe
depends on the map.
It depends on the map. So.
Yeah. And it also depends on these settings.
That's something you can do and manipulate with the code, right? You can place 5 herds of 10 wimps or something like that. So.
I can't do that in game or with code. Just in the map editor, I can just put a different Vim theme. I can add as many Vim themes to the server as I want to a map as I want to, or as many Vimp to a team as I want to. I can add like 1 million Vimp if I wanted to. I just don't think the game will even load if I try that. I should try like 1,000 Vimp. Why not?
Is there a Christmas themed map or something?
There are some.
There are some.
So I think we could, when playing on a very small MechVMech, we can actually switch out the usual classic desert map with the one Frankie made, which is called the Ultimate Winter Duel. And it's basically the same, but it has snow, and in the middle, you don't have palm trees, you have Christmas trees.
That one completely tanks my frame rate because I mean not the map itself, but the snow for some reason when it starts snowing.
the weather particles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might mess you up.
Maybe you should port it to Unreal Engine 4.
Anyway, guys, I gotta go. But
Right.
it was really good to play with you and to talk with you. So thank
It
you
was
all.
fun. Thank you for playing.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, man. Thanks.
All right, see you.
Yep.
Also, I'm gonna split here, but yeah, it was nice, nice talking with you guys, and I'm probably gonna see you later.
All right, good talking to you.
Yeah,
See
it's
you
also
later.
Yeah.
nice to see
Thank
this
you.
game being taken care of so lovingly after 20 years. It's very nice. So thank you for
Yeah.
that as well.
Just
All
remember
right.
that we have weekly events, so you can join every
Yep.
Sunday if you want.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Thanks, guys.
All right, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah, and the base building matches, were they Mac versus Mac only or Mac versus Reaper or even Kabuto? I'm not sure. Yeah, he can't build a base, obviously, but is it Mac versus Mac or versus Reaper?
What?
The base building matches.
Usually Mac versus Mac, because it's already unfair enough in three-way. Reapers Reapers can build the Mac versus Vims. Yeah, Reapers can build the base incredibly fast, much faster than Mac. So
they are OP anyway. So.
And if it's one or maybe one Reaper versus 10 Max or something like that, is that possible? I'm not sure. It's an option.
it is sort of possible, but there's people joining and leaving and switching teams and stuff like that.
You can't fix that in the. Let's say you can't make people stay in one team and predetermine that before the match. So
I can, but you need the right people with the right amount of skill in the right teams that all play at the right moment. It's too hard. It's too hard to do a base build like that. Because the Reapers don't even need to get the Vimp meat; they can just get the Vimp souls.
Yeah.
Even if Kabuto kills them or eats them, or they get, you know. GG.
Barrington, yeah.
Well, that was a success.
Yeah.
I'd call it. Well, nothing went really as planned. We didn't really ask the questions we went to ask.
Yeah, there was absolutely no interview that was planned.
Well, it was. I changed the rules last minute. I was like, let just everybody chat in the voice chat channel.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, we can always try and email him at a later time and be like, hey, we actually wanted to do an interview and maybe you'd like to do it right now.
Yeah, that and the documentary idea would be great. I don't know how that would be done. Zoom would even be great, if nothing else. Not any high production, high value, you know.
I mean, even Discord has video calls. So.
Yeah, definitely. Some sort of. I got to ask my questions about the the script, the characters, and ideas for the game design. I don't know which other questions were there. I guess you.
Oh, I can send you the list.
Document with questions from me, Tig, Flab, and other people. We had a compiled list of questions that we wanted to ask, and but when we entered voice chat, all these guys were like, "Oh, hey Jim, I haven't heard your voice since 2000," and it was like a big reunion. I didn't want to disturb them, and they just kept talking to each other, and actually we didn't get to ask our questions, but they said a lot themselves.
They were basically talking about the stuff we wanted to know about the development, how the team went, all the stuff that happened. They basically started talking, like about the guy that got sick and eventually died and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. We got to know a lot really, and the three of them were in the chat, I guess. Nick and two other guys, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Nick, Bob, and Jim were in the chat.
Yeah, and Tim, the guy they were talking about, who is he? I'm not sure if I've.
Tim was the general director of the game.
Okay, so
yeah.
More like a producer or
no, director was his title. So
was he in the creative team or maybe more like I guess finances or something like that?
I don't exactly know what his what his job was, but
if you can send,
It was all pretty messy, you know, the voice chat, the lagging game, and all. So
you'll have to watch you'll have to look back the recordings basically too.
Yeah. And
it was,
if you can, it was great. I think it was great.
Oh yeah, it was.
We didn't even know if they were going to appear, so it's amazing. Even one of them. So
yeah, it was nice to have them all and everybody and all of them and them join Discord and talk with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real treat. If you can send me the link with the questions, please do. Yeah, I'd like to see them, and perhaps we can kind of organize something like an interview with them.
Yeah. I'll send them. I'll send them to you after we're done.
Okay.
I have them stored somewhere. I keep forgetting it's Saturday. It's really, and it's still early because we usually play an hour later.
Yeah.
It messed up with my biological clock. It's not Sunday, and it's not Sunday, and it's not this normal time.
Yeah.
That's really odd. But we've had two really good games today. This afternoon, we also had a lot of people.
Yeah, like 8.
I am going to send them an email after this, thanking them.
Definitely.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanking them for stuff. A little more elaborate thank you than the quick buys on voice chat.
Yeah.
I think they had a good time also, so it was great for everyone.
Yeah.
I was actually kind of surprised that, you know, that they entered voice chat and, you know, the first time they heard each other's voices or they heard what, you know, what's happening in their lives. I thought they might have contacted each other like a week before, talking about it and maybe catch up, but actually
like they haven't seen like good friends that haven't talked to each other for years. That's what it sounded like. That was really nice. Like I said, like when we started talking about rights to giants, and they started talking. Well, I know I have a lawyer that can help you with getting the rights back. I'm like, yeah, that's the good things that come from places like this.
Yeah, thank you, Mr.
GG.
And the server crashed when Nick, I think, started talking about the. So Kabuto was from a shrimp, Japanese shrimp, something like that, restaurant, something like. Delphi was from an actress, and the mechs were from a menu or something like that. I didn't get that part because of the.
Yeah. I didn't catch it either.
Something, yeah,
The
they
only
said something
thing-
like
Yeah, the only thing I'm sure of is that there is an actress called, like, her surname is Delphi. That's where they got it. And Kabuto, I don't know if it was a shrimp. I just heard that something Japanese because you have, I think the word itself was from Japanese because you have a Pokemon called Kabuto, and there's also a.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
came
man.
from it came from some Japanese restaurant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you have also in, I think, Naruto, there is a character called Kabuto. So I think it's just a Japanese word.
Maybe it even means giant. I guess we'll have to use Google Translate to see what it means. It would be funny if it does mean giants, giant citizen giant. I don't think so, but you never know. What's this? Oh, there's a rocket spinning around.
A lagged homing rocket.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool looking effect, actually.
I mean, yes, Kabuto means helmet. This is right.
Helmet, right?
Yeah, Kabuto means helmet.
Oh, wow.
Now I remember. Amazed is right. I remember now.
Now we know. Amazing.
I looked it up once. Oh, thank you, said. Oh, helmet. Yeah. Whoever said it, helmet.
Funny.
Giant citizen helmets.
Yeah. Giant helmet guy. And maybe it's too early to talk about this, but the potential interview with them or Nick, at least, how do you guys see that being organized? Is it? I would be happy even with the Zoom call or Discord video.
That's something I'm not thinking about currently. How we're gonna organize that. That's something for a later day to think about.
But they're still here and they want to talk about it. It's not, it's not shrouded in secrecy or something like that. Or definitely, that's something that should be done at one point. But you press F2 to see the chat. There's a limit. Basically, you can't go up to see all the chat from.
No, there's a limit.
You can scroll.
Okay. It's a shame it costs so much to make the sequel. The name of the sequel. I forgot.
To finish, to finish First Wonder. Yeah, you need AAA funding to finish a game like that.
Yeah. Even if it's a small studio, I don't know how many of them will be working on that, but if it's 3 or 5 people, I don't think they can do it.
There were just 2 or 3 people working on First Wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, then the Kickstarter failed, and
That's a shame.
I'm heading off in a bit though.
Okay.
And I'm burning. Thanks.
And yeah, what the grenades, the flaming grenade, okay, incendiary grenade, but the electric grenade, does it hurt Reapers more or something like that?
No. The fire grenade you can set anything Kabuto and Reapers on fire, and the EMP grenade drains other mechs jetpack fuel, so they cannot fly or shield for until it refills again.
So it's an anti-mech.
It's an anti-mech thing, yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Anti-shield.
I should get it now. I have incendiary one for no reason.
So even with all the people playing, the lag wasn't all that bad, but some people had real issues with connection, like Rev.
Yeah, I had enormous issues.
I mean, I think they didn't really notice anything.
No, I mean, well, I think they were more focused on actually talking to each other and answering questions than
True.
actually playing the game. They played a bit of it,
Well,
and you know,
one of them, well, Bob wasn't playing, so he was watching Nosso's stream. It's good he followed up on the invite.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, but I don't know, just even now with less people, and I turned down my graphical settings, I still like have very little FPS, and it's very detrimental to how I can play. Like when I look into the island with all this stuff happening, I get like 30 or even less FPS, and it's very hard to keep track of enemies and hitting them, all that stuff.
Yeah, for me, it's sometimes, and especially in the mech versus mech.
I mean, the answer is simple. I just need a fucking PC.
Same.
Well, you're getting one soon.
True. Oh, my cat wants back inside.
Yeah, I'm struggling to follow what's happening on the screen. And it's not even, you know, like lag as in network stuff, because my ping is stable. But it just, the frame rate is, everything is happening in less than 30 FPS, then it's really not smooth.
You're on the laptop, right?
Yeah, it's an office laptop, not even a gaming one.
I'm surprised my laptop held up, besides that one crash that happened halfway.
Want to see the effect of the grenade, the blue one? I guess either I have to hit someone or someone has to hit me. So I'm fine with both, I guess. Just want to see how it works. Yeah. Let's see. I know.
You have to be rather close, though. I can hit you with it.
If you have one, please, just want to see the effect.
There
Close?
it is.
No. Ah, Jesus, I died, obviously, at that moment. Okay. I'm in the base, so let's see. Amazing. If you can hit me with the grenade, the blue one, if you want to. But I don't know if it works team on team, right?
I got launched away. Right? God damn it.
Oh, it doesn't work, and it shouldn't, I guess. When a teammate hits you with the grenade, nothing happens.
Yeah, when the teammate hits you, nothing happens.
There is no friendly fire.
Yeah. Chaotic, definitely. Who is firing at me? Let's see. That's interesting. I don't see the, which is when you see the map, you don't see which team has the base color. You know, blue guys. It just says enemy base, enemy base. The red team, the green team, if you know what I mean. So maybe that's something that can be added to see on the mini map which team is where. It's not super obviously important. When you fly, you can see, blue base.
The colors are in the name, like enemy base is green or red. So.
Yeah, but one thing I think it might be connected to the game mode being MVMVM is that like I'm red, for instance, and my base isn't called home base. I just have people with red colored names, and then the green base is called enemy base, and the blue base is empty. There is no other.
Yeah.
Blue base isn't called enemy base. That's what I mean.
I'm going to try to get to you to see the effect of the grenade if you are close to your base. So if you are,
I'm at my base.
Hit me up with coming there. Hit me up with that grenade before someone kills me. Okay, so I see it. Yeah. Yes. I think someone. Yeah, I'm not sure.
He was just killing you.
Yeah. Let's try it again. Let's see what happens. Oh no, wait. The one who is shooting at me don't. I think to be tough. God damn it.
He's not on voice chat, he can't hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, let's meet up somewhere, Tig. Let's just choose a tiny piece of the map where it's easy to.
I'll just come to the red base.
Okay, I'll be on the far end here. Don't shoot at us. I just want to see how the grenade works. The blue one.
I need to take the right grenades with me.
Yeah, I guess I have to do that too. So. Yeah, the blue ones. Okay. Here I am. Take the pistol just for precaution. I am. Okay, there you are. see, does all of it go? Yeah, all of it goes. Wow.
Yep.
And let's see. Okay, I'll do one on you. Do one more. Let's see how much it takes to. So yeah, yeah. It's basically empty. Okay, thanks. That's good.
You're
That's
welcome.
yeah, no problem. That's for the shield only, right? For the stamina, right?
Yeah, for the stamina of the shield. So it also, it drains the jetpack and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But it also deals regular damage, right?
A little bit, a really tiny bit amount of damage.
Ah, so it's less than a normal knife.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh shit. That was lag.
It's not. It is a summary of the score, but it's a summary of the total score of the team. So also before people left, those scores are still in there.
Are there any tricks to get better with the mechs and the Reapers? Something with any of the races, obviously. Is it just practice, or are there any?
It's practice. It's just practice. Yep. You just have to get your timing right. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, with the rocket launchers, basically. Which weapons do you guys use the most? I guess the fast rocket launcher.
The proximity missile is the main weapon.
Do you still use shields instead of?
Most of us use the shield. If you get your timing right, you can absorb about 20, 25 shots, maybe more. If you don't have shield, you can only get hit like 3 or 4 times before you die. So
yeah,
it's really big game changer. But my cat wants to go back outside again because now she's inside. A door cannot be closed on her.
So if you're looking to get better in like being a mech, shielding, or being Kabuto, there are tutorials on Giants World Domination, the Giants WD website. If you go to the forum and then tips/strategies, there are some tutorials made for shielding in Kabuto and for the gyrocopter piloting, I think, as well. So that might be a start, and then we'll obviously practice, and also you can watch our videos so you can actually see what's happening from our point of view on YouTube.
Thanks. I gotta look at those tutorials, definitely. I think I've seen someone on YouTube doing a trick. I don't know how old it is or new with the Reaper. She can rain down the spell that comes from the sky, and she can use it to jump one part of the map to the other, basically. So I don't know if you guys saw that.
You mean the hail spell?
Spell, yeah.
Yeah.
It's possible. You can jump with it.
You can launch yourself with it or your teammates.
That's amazing.
But it's not that useful. With Reapers, you just fly around with turbo.
Anyone done a speed run of the game? And
yeah, there are some speedruns. I think Amaze tried to speedrun the game like some time ago, but I don't know if
I think the world record is 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Wow.
Like that.
I think it's on
Okay.
speedrun.com or something.
Our patch isn't on the official rules. You need 1.4.
Yeah, you can speedrun 1.5.
We changed things too much, right?
Yeah, it gives you an advantage over people that play it without patches.
It would have to be a separate category.
Yeah.
I think they didn't include it because 1.4 is the last official patch, and anything that follows is unofficial, and maybe that's why they didn't put it in.
Okay. I'm thinking about the game balance because, obviously not much can be changed here, but yeah.
Yeah.
Other possibilities that can be done.
All right. Today's event will end in 15 minutes.
Tosk has just been AFK on green.
What?
Tosk has been AFK all the time now.
No, he hasn't.
Well, I mean now and during this match.
No, he played. He played.
He has 0 score.
Yeah, he left and then came back.
Killed me a few times.
Not that long ago. See, he's here.
Sorry.
AFK and still killing people. Is it a bot?
He's in debug mode right now, so he's working on the issues.
Okay.
He can enable God mode for himself right now. He's cheating.
My malware reacted to the patch. Like, I know it's nothing, but why did it happen? It is because of the. I'm still on Windows 7, right?
It just gives those. I don't really know why it gives those issues though, but it should be all that should be gone with the next iteration of the with 1.5.1 basically.
Okay.
All of that should be gone.
Going to try the shield now. Let's see how much damage it can take.
Ooh, no, Jesus.
You come to the same.
I'm not getting sick.
Can you maybe come to the same location and fire a few missiles at me with my shield full without losing any stamina while flying? Just want to see how much it holds up.
Alright, so I'll come over.
I don't have the chance to test stuff like this, so I'm not sure. Proximity missiles, yeah, the pink ones, whatever.
I've got the standard missiles.
Yeah, in 3, 2, 1.
Let me
Let's see how.
Let me stand over here. I'll shoot. Just turn on the shield as soon as I shoot at you. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
That's with full shield.
That's with full shield. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now this one.
Oh, God, that's a lot more than. Let's see again. I have to get the timing right, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to tap it on and off basically. Just you got to make sure you keep as much fuel available as possible.
When you guys play with Reapers, do you get to use all the spells, or do you focus on one of them, or is there a lot?
We usually do turn off follow spell and one of the fire spells. That's what we usually turn off. And you can use the sniper bow is a little bit OP. We don't ban it, but nobody actually really uses it.
Maybe on Kabuto, no?
Well, you can kill Kabuto with sniper bow. Especially if there's more than one Reaper. You can just stand on the mountain, unload, reload, unload again.
Yeah. So the main problem with that were hill snipers. People were just switching to Reaper, getting the sniper bow and standing very far from Kabuto and sniping him. And that would deal a lot of damage. And he wouldn't be able to do much about that. So sometimes we just disable the sniper bow.
Sometimes we do. Yep.
Yeah.
But when you fight with the Reapers in your personal arsenal, when you have 5 weapons or 4 or 5 weapons and all those magic skills, it's like, do you focus on a few of them when you fight with mechs and stuff, or?
Well, we usually only use Reaper against Kabuto and not against mechs.
Okay.
Because you can use anything against the mechs in it. Well, and it works. You can slash them twice with the sword and they're dead. That's how weak they are compared to the Reapers.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, your best bet against the mech would be the power-up bow and the cluster spell, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those would work best against mechs.
I try to explore, all the other spells and stuff. Sometimes it feels like there's too many of them, so you don't know which one to choose. But they're all fun. That's the problem. So
Yep. It's like Tornado is fun, but it is pretty useless. It doesn't do as much damage as you think it will do, which is a shame.
It's a while to start up, so while you start it up, the target runs away. So it's kind of problematic.
And also, when you're using the shield, try not to fly as much.
Yeah.
You need to stay grounded.
Lag.
You can also block incoming missiles with, at least the proximity missiles with mines. You can just throw a mine to block the shot.
Wow, I didn't know that.
If you run out of juice, it's a makeshift shield.
Nice. Landmines, right?
Yeah, just normal mines. Just throw them in front of the.
That's great.
In front of the projectile.
That's a cool trick, definitely. Have to try that. Shield didn't help.
Those are really powerful when, yeah.
Blue one, right?
Yep. Gotta evade them at all costs.
Double shield kills us every time, right?
Yeah, it's a bug when the shield appears to run constantly, even when you don't have any juice left. It doesn't do anything. It's just a visual glitch, but it's annoying because you can't really see. It messes up your timing with turning it on and off.
Oh, there you go.
Double shield, right?
Well, at least you can see it in action right now. This was the best beta test we could ask for, I guess.
Yeah.
With all these players pushing the game to its limit.
Definitely.
I mean, this glitch is annoying, but it's not like super annoying. Like you can play with it.
It's not problematic.
Yeah. Also, that's a good point. It happens a lot more frequently when we're playing on Tick's server, which is hosted on his own machine instead of dedicated. When you're playing on a non-dedicated server, this stuff happens a lot more often. Same for double missiles and all that stuff, double mines.
Wait, switching the game's CPU affinity to a single core. From the task manager. Well, I'm not running the game in windowed mode. If I alt-tab right now, I will freeze and crash the server. But I'll have to try that for tomorrow.
Yeah, we can try tomorrow during
But
the afternoon.
I'll.
So that we are ready for the evening, maybe.
Yep. Yeah, we'll try that too. I can try that tomorrow. It's no problem. Plus, I'm off in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But I don't have multiple cores to begin with. Maybe, yeah.
Oh, and when Frankie died now, his turret stopped shooting at me. Oh, or maybe it was like.
Turrets are very powerful.
Must have been lag.
Probably.
Because I just got annihilated with missiles all of a sudden.
That's always a sign. That's always a sign.
Are many turrets prohibited? They're pretty strong. I don't know. They kill even Reapers very fast.
Yeah.
Guys,
They've been redone for the new patch. You used to be able to put 5 per team. Now you can put 2 per player.
they banned now. They can be used in the game, right? Even now, I'm not sure.
You can use the mini. You can use the mini turrets.
I think the game loads quicker now when you go to the desktop. Not sure, but it used to load very slowly for me when there were some dots on the screen in the left side. So
Oh yeah. That's all been it's all been upgraded a little bit. It's been made a little bit faster. You also join a server faster. It loads the maps faster. Optimized.
That was the one thing that bothered me the most, loading the screen. You know, when you alt tab, and you have to do that basically from time to time, obviously. So it takes.
If you don't want that, you can in the game launcher you can set your window mode to borderless, and then you will have full screen, but the game will act like in windowed mode. So when you alt tab and then go back, there will be no loading time.
Yep.
That's nice. That's a new feature, also, I guess, right? With this patch.
I mean, it's a new feature because the game launcher has been added, and before that you had to modify the shortcut of the game.
Yep.
You had to modify the target field in the properties for the shortcut to get it to launch in windowed mode and also to get your FPS cap. Those were the arguments for
Nice.
for the shortcut properties, and now it's in the launcher.
GG. All right, guys, that was fun.
Great game, great day, definitely. Success.
That was a good day today.
Yeah.
A good day. I had a lot of fun. Part 2 tomorrow. Yeah, I don't think I'll be here for the afternoon match because one of my friends is coming over for a bit. But I will be here hosting. I will be hosting the evening match, and I'll try to set my CPU to the single core thing. So we'll have to try.
Nice.
Alright.
That's great, you guys.
That was awesome. I'll send you the questions.
The email, yeah, definitely. Or the link, whatever. That's okay.
I think my game crashed.
I'll send them in DM. There we go.
Discord. That's great.
How do I send you a message? Oh,
I got it. Yes.
That's wait. I'll do it differently. That's not gonna work like that. Hold on. I'll send you the file.
No problem. Thanks. I'm glad this happened. It was a great event, definitely. Great thing.
Yeah.
The community, definitely. So.
Oh yeah, that was great. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Let me just check how many people we actually have. We have 615 members in Discord right now.
Yeah. Maybe more will join soon. Yeah, I guess.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
Well, we have a nice we had a nice amount of people playing. We had a nice turnout today.
Actually, this is, I think, even though we haven't filled the server up to 20 people, this is the most people I have ever seen. 17 at once.
Yeah, it was crowded, definitely. For us, at least. This side.
Yeah.
Great.
That was awesome.
It was hectic, definitely. I guess there were no rules at one moment, so people were basically.
Yeah, we were just like do whatever you please and have fun. That was basically the title for today.
In this kind of situation, that's obviously extra cool. So that's no problem.
Yeah, there's no point in making all these rules when there weren't much. Yeah, just do all the game things basically. Use all the game modes. Use all the game functions.
Yeah.
Destroy the bases and stuff.
Destroy the bases. Yeah, the
bases were raided today, definitely.
The mech base.
Many times, yeah. The mech base and the Reaper base later.
Yeah, mech base was fucked.
Mech base. Why can't I load the events channel? I cannot load my own channels. So just failed to load. Try again. Solve.
It was great, you guys. I guess we'll see each other tomorrow and next
Yeah.
week and so on.
We'll be here tomorrow. We'll probably be on voice chat again. So
Yeah, that's a good option, definitely. It's always
All
a
right.
plus.
Always a plus. All right. Good talking to you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thank you all. Bye bye, guys. Bye.